Medical billing isn't a free-for-all in this country.
Well, new this morning, the cost of care, 50% of all medical bills may be wrong. That's according to one industry group, and that's a big number. As we investigated this issue, we found a Scottsdale woman who says she was charged for 4 times as much as she was expecting for a simple test. So 3 on your side, Susan Campbell, getting some answers on all of this. This is amazing.
Yeah, Scott, not every single error on a medical bill results in a higher cost for the patient, but often they do. And if you don't catch it and fight it, it could cost you thousands.
This is the bill that they just sent me.
Jennifer Lopp was expecting a bill, just not a bill like this.
I just don't think that this is correct.
She had 2 ultrasounds that cost about $600. The following month, the tests were repeated and the cost jumped to $2,700. She got Honor Health and her insurance company on the phone at the same time.
Everyone agreed that it seemed really high, 4 times as much. Like something just seemed off, like maybe the coding was off or something, got misbilled somewhere. And I really didn't think a whole lot of it. I thought, okay, we'll get this resolved.
But the next month, the same bill showed up, and again the following month. Every time she called, and she was armed with information.
This is straight from their website.
The hospital price transparency rule requires hospitals to provide the average cost of common procedures. On that list from Honor Health, it shows the average cost of a pelvic ultrasound is $374. Multiply that by the 2 ultrasounds she had, it's still not even close to the $2,700 her insurance company was billed.
You're kind of at their mercy. No one calls me back. So it's either pay it or we're sending you to collections.
When the final notice showed up in the mail, that's when Jennifer called 3 on Your Side.
This is probably a small dollar amount compared to what some people probably see, but it's just wrong.
We reached out to Honor Health. They investigated the claim and told us there was an error with the charge, and that error has been corrected.
We say about half of all bills have errors in them. What's going to blow your mind is that number is actually conservative.
Caitlin Donovan is with the National Patient Advocate Foundation.
We trust providers, unfortunately, not to make mistakes and to bill us for the right things. And really, we should be very cautious and make sure that we're getting billed the right amount at the right time for the right service.
So don't pay any medical bill right away. The National Patient Advocate Foundation says you should wait for your explanation of benefits from your insurance company.
The most common mistake we see, and the reason we tell patients to wait for their explanation of benefits is actually the provider billing the patient directly rather than submitting through insurance. And most people will think that they owe that bill.
To spot errors, compare your bill to the explanation of benefits. Check both for accuracy to make sure neither includes services or treatments you didn't get, and check to make sure there are no duplicate charges.
We see these disputes can often drag on 3 to 6 months. The patients and providers and plans disagree on how much is to be paid.
Short of calling a news station or calling Consumer Reports, what can people actually do when they do know there's a problem and they're not getting the right person on the phone to play ball?
One thing we don't realize as patients is we pay all different rates for healthcare services in the United States. Even 2 comparable people going to the same hospital might get charged a much different rate depending on the type of insurance they have. And so sometimes you're getting stuck with the wrong rate. You typically have to get on the phone with both the provider and the health plan and say, hey, something's not right here.
Patients are also entitled to formal appeals. You can file a complaint through the State Department of Insurance, and you can leverage social media to work for you.
A final thing you can do is to go public, is to contact the media, go on Twitter, and criticize the hospital that sent you too much of a bill. They do pay attention to that, and that might be the catalyst that you need to get somebody to pay closer attention to your case.
They have a whole list.
That's what it took for Jennifer.
As a patient, you already are dealing with, whatever medical things you have going on. And then to get this bill that you've tried to resolve, you've called, you've tried to do the right thing. It's very frustrating.
And with more appointments on the horizon, Jennifer's hopeful this won't happen again.
Honor Health tells us in general, if patients have questions about a bill they receive, they should contact the billing department. If their questions aren't answered, they should also ask to speak with a supervisor. And though Honor Health admitted a mistake with Jennifer's bill, she's still waiting for a resolution. Scott, something to keep in mind here, you can also try to negotiate your medical bills. A recent survey showed 93% of people who tried to negotiate their bill were actually successful in getting it reduced or dropped altogether.
Oh, that's good to hear. Susan, thank you so much. And by the way, this story's not over. Coming up tomorrow morning at 7, Susan will be back with a look at the new law that will go into effect in January aimed at preventing these surprise medical bills.